So, Kevin McAllister and Alex, then another Kevin, Finn, then that one British boy. All these Home Alone movies, from 1 through 6, do they all still add up? Like, are they all still good? Let's start with number 1. Home Alone with Kevin McAllister. So in that one we see he's left while home alone after saying he wishes his family was, he forgot his family or something. What was it? I made my family disappear. And I wish I never had a family. Families suck. Okay, that's what he said. And he wished for that. He thought he had a great wish, but it wasn't good. His mom is all crazy about him. She's like, Kevin! The really part that gets me is that at the end of the movie, she comes home and she sees Kevin. They hug, they have this warm embrace, and it's so good. Yeah, until like the entire other family comes in, and then you're like, she couldn't wait 2 days to see her boy? She rushed to get home today when the family came home. It's like, really? You couldn't just trust that he was good home alone? I mean, he was good. I mean, he beat up Marvin, Harry with paint cans and But in the end, I'd say Home Alone still holds up to this day. It's very rewatchable around Christmas time. It's very good on Disney Plus. It was in fact in one of the top 10s, I believe. So Home Alone is very good for a good time, no alcohol required. Now, Home Alone 2. Home Alone 2 Lost in New York with Kevin. We see Kevin is much older, still not more mature yet. And then we also see that they still redid some of the same stuff from the first movie where the parents wake up and they're like, we did it again! Only they scream, and then the family's still rushing to get ready to go to the airport. Only this time Kevin is more prepared and ready. He didn't have to sleep in, which is more interesting. And then we also see, like, when he's in New York. Oh, he got to New York because, well, he followed a man he thought was his dad, but wasn't. That sounds kind of creepy when I put it that way. You follow a man that you think is your dad, but he's not. He's just some man in a trench coat. Yeah, he follows him to another terminal. Then, obviously, he goes in. He looks around. He sees that, well, he's not with his family, but he just shrugs. But then the family's on a plane to Florida. They get in Florida. What really gets me is when the mom doesn't know that she said, Kevin's not here. And then the dad's like, what? She laughs. She screams. And then faints. That's funny. That's what still gets me to this day. Kevin's in New York. It's really an iconic moment when he says at the beginning of the movie, this is the greatest accident of my life. But then, after being in New York, being chased out of a hotel, walking through the dark side of New York and seeing all these creepy people and the random pigeon lady, he ends up saying, I never want to take a vacation like this again. It's really good. It's like, what were these people thinking when they made this movie and they made him say this in the beginning to say yes, but then towards the end he's like, Was that supposed to be a teachable lesson? Because I didn't learn anything from it. Then again, I've seen it way too many times to care. I mean, The best part of the movie is when Marv and Harry get their revenge. What's really funny is when Marv jumps on that thing and launches Harry up into the air. That was really good. That was really funny. Harry's like, actual doctors like prescribe what would happen to them if, like, in the event that this was real. They both would be, well, almost dead. I mean, or very, very hurt. It's really nice and really funny throughout the entire sequence of watching Marv and Harry get beat up, and Harry obviously dodging some of the stuff because he knows what happened the first time. And Marv is just like, I'm gonna murder that kid. With powder on his face. There's gotta be some moments in this movie where you realize that, come on, they had to have known that this was right there. or that was gonna happen. Like you remember when Marv like slipped on that green goo or whatever? He had to have known that was there. And you remember when they were all running, chasing Kevin, and they slipped on pearls? They had to have known that. They're just so focused on him. Home Alone 2, in the end, another heartwarming embrace where the mom hugs Kevin in front of the Christmas tree. Really good. I'd say no alcohol required. Good time. Now, Home Alone 3. Just by watching Home Alone 3, you can tell that they literally made it for a cash grab. Like, you can just look at it and tell, like, there were some moments where they were like, okay, this is actually for entertainment. But then it was also like, yeah, this is just for a cash grab. They added Alex and like 4 other people who were all spies looking for a chip in a toy. It's honestly pretty interesting when you look at it. And then Alex did the responsible thing and called the cops twice in what, 2 days or something? Then he takes matters into his own hands. And obviously we see burglars get beat up by all sorts of things. They get froze. One girl falls down this shaft or whatever. It's just like, how much money did this movie make? Because it's clearly not sustainable. The brothers and sisters, like, in one moment they're like, Alex, you've brought shame to the family. But they are a family, so they do care about each other in a way. Overall, I'd say Home Alone 3 was pretty alcohol required. Like, it's just something that just made for money, you can tell. Home Alone 4 with Kevin. Literally Kevin McAllister, but a different Kevin McAllister. What I honestly don't get is the fact that when I first watched this, I was thinking, what the hell am I watching?
Agreed.
They took Kevin McAllister and basically recasted everybody in the movie, but they used the same names. That is not good. I don't like that. That's not good. That is literally made for a cash grab. And it didn't even do too well, to the point where you can tell, like, it's not on a good budget, it didn't make good money, and it's easily... It's just like... with the people they casted, like, French Stewart, he was...
It just didn't fit.
No, it didn't. Like, you took the people from Home Alone 1 and 2, put it in Home Alone 4, but recast it. It has a good story, I'll admit, but the cast and the characters just don't add up to the story. And that is why Home Alone 4 is completely dog shit, to the point where I'm gonna forget about it. And T-minus 3, 2, yep, already forgotten. And now, the part you've all been waiting for. The last Home Alone movie. At least for now. Home Sweet Home Alone with, what's his name, Max? Yeah, that British kid. So obviously, this is when Fox gets owned by Disney. So Disney's trying to put their little fingers in this movie and try and make something good out of it. But it didn't work because it wasn't good. It wasn't good enough. And you know why? Do you know why Home Sweet Home Alone wasn't really good? It's because, well, he's like not really the best person, not really like the best kid. Obviously there are heartwarming moments in this movie, as throughout all the Home Alone movies, but this one is just like, yes, it's for a cash grab. Yes, Disney tried to make something original, but it wasn't really original. So Home Sweet Home Alone is literally the 6th movie in the Home Alone series, but obviously so much happened through it to the point where you're like, is this really worth it? Or are we just trying to squeeze what little cash we can get out of something that was great in 1990 something?
I feel like they didn't even need 6.
Exactly. And you can tell because Home Alone, or Home Sweet Home Alone, obviously it was all just miscommunication. Like, the burglars are trying to break into do something in the dining room or something. But in the end, like, they weren't really trying to break in or something. And then they tried to reference the first Home Alone movie with, what's his name, Buzz as a police officer. That was like, really? Did you really have to do that? Or were you just trying to remake something, but try and like add something original to the point of you're like, can we make money off of this by putting money into it? We're putting money into something, and are we really getting something out of it? And no, you're not, because Home Sweet Home Alone wasn't really that interesting. I'd say in the end, it is very forgettable. Obviously, no one really watches it. At least, it's not really in the top 10 around Christmas time. The top 10 in Christmas time on Disney Plus streaming would be the first two Home Alone movies, because no one really cares about 3, 4, and 5 and 6. So you can just tell that Home Alone 6 is forgettable, and I've already forgotten about it. And T-minus 3, 2, yep, forgotten. So all the Home Alone movies, what do you think? Do you think they all still add up? Whatever it is, whatever it was, comment below, let me know. And for always, if you like what you see and you want to see more, you know where to click to see more.